working. I think. Let me stop and check. Okay, what do you know? It's actually working. Really, I've gone through so much of this tape recorder. You should know that for the past week I've been trying to make you a tape, and that I actually had a whole tape completely made, and I was all ready to send it, and it dawned on me that it took me much longer than an hour to make an hour tape, right? I was sitting there for at least 2 hours. So sure enough, when I went to play it over, the batteries were dead, and I sound like Mickey Mouse. So, anyway, it's been very frustrating. It's a long story, but I won't go into it because there's a lot of things, tons and tons of things that I have to tell you, and then I have to ask you and answer questions, and there's so much to be said and done that I want to get covered in this tape. Anyway, you should know that this tape should have been out a week ago. The important, to give you an idea of setting and everything, today is Friday, April, I don't know what, April 13th, I think. I think it's Friday the 13th, but we won't think about it too much. And it's the Friday before Pesach, and I'm at the Hurbitz's, and I've been here most of the week. I've had vacation, but I'll tell you all about that and all the things that I've had to do with everything in just a second. It's Friday and Friday morning. Let me see. I have a list here of things that I want to tell you, and it's not in order, and it's not in order of importance. Just a minute. Okay. So how should I do this? Really, first of all, what I really want to say, the most important thing to me right now, what I really want to say is thank you so much. Really thank you for, for your reaction and everything. No, I understand that it was very hard for all of us at the beginning. I was pretty disgusting, and I'm sorry for a lot of things that I said and did. It's just everyone was so tense and overexcited and everything. So it's very, very good that we can all understand that in each other over such a long distance. And I'm just so very grateful and thankful that you're being so understanding. And I don't know. See, like it's very hard. It's just so hard over such a big distance and everything. And after the time when I need you most, and really, really, I miss you so much. I really need you. And it's like an emptiness, big vacuum. Here I am by myself. But anyway, the point is clear. So thank you really so much. The Hurbitz's was very, very happy to get your letter. They told me about it, the day after they got it. They said it was a very, very beautiful letter, which made me really happy because it was the first I'd heard that anyone had heard from you since the phone call. So they're very grateful. She sent a letter. She said she wrote a letter back to the Hurbitz's, so you should be getting that. And today I got 2 letters from you. Actually, I haven't been at Mikhala all week, so the letters I think just came yesterday or today. But a friend of mine from the apartment came all the way to the Hurbitz's to bring them to me because she knew that I've been waiting for them and I've been expecting them. I was going to go today to Mikhala. And so I got 2 letters from you. One was written before you got our letter back, and the second was written afterwards. But so now I'm going to try and answer all of your questions, and I have some great news to tell you, but you 2 already know because I sent the telegram. Did you get it? Yeah, I suppose you got it. But anyway, a whole lot of things to tell you. Most important thing now is really thank you, and it makes me very happy that we can keep the channels of communication open, open-mindedly and everything, and understand that this whole business, if I haven't learned anything else, as soon as I tell you everything that we've been going through for the past few weeks, you'll understand what I mean. But if I haven't learned anything else, I have learned detail, patience, frustration, practicality to some extent. Really, really, I've learned a lot, and I see how easy it is to get very stuck into details and very aggravated. And if you don't keep cool, and if you don't try and remember that just smile and just remember the importantness, the main idea, and don't get all caught up in the details. Otherwise, you can really just go crazy. You can lose your mind, especially in this country. I think Israel, like everything else, is superior in every way. and including red tape and inefficiency and the way the offices run. Americans have a lot to teach them here in that respect. Let me see. I don't know exactly where to start. I think I'll start with our apartment, since that's what you're waiting so much to hear about anyway. Just a minute, I want to close the door. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm really... Okay, listen to this. First of all, when we decided that we were going to get married, when we decided to make it official, and we called you and all that first, I want to make this really, really clear. Really, really clear. You've said it a few times, and I know that it doesn't... All the rumors and things that you heard in Washington were purely rumors. The first ones that we let know when we decided to make it official were you and the Horvitzes, and that is it. And no one else knew about it officially. I mean, I never told anyone. These are rumors that started people seeing and just guessing and just jumping to conclusions, because we didn't even tell anyone except for the Horvitzes and you. And I didn't even tell anyone else until I got these letters from you that with your consent in them. Otherwise, I didn't tell anyone. And now I'm telling people, obviously. But you should know that all the people in Washington that knew beforehand, that's all rumor. It hurts me that there's rumor. I don't want it that way either. Of course not. But please don't think that we're... I mean, I'm sure you realize that we weren't trying to keep anything from you and doing anything behind your back. It's none of my friends knew. Ask any of my friends. They haven't heard from me since the beginning of the year. The only people I've written to is you, and the only ones that I let know now is you. I don't have time to write anyone else, and I didn't want anyone else to know until you knew. But anyway, to get back to the apartment, the day that we called you and everything, from that time on, that was what, about 3 weeks ago, something like that. I can't really tell anymore. Ellie for 2 weeks straight from then went around looking for an apartment. You see what it is in the Aliyah Center. I guess I'll explain a little bit about our rights to an apartment. You say that we should join the AACI. You've said it a few times. That's the first thing we went and did. The very first thing that we went and did after calling you and everything was we went to the AACI office here. It's true. You can't go to you get different rights in different areas. You get rights for bringing in things, the mail tax-free and all that, duty rights, and you get rights for an apartment. But if you went to the absorption center, the absorption department, I don't know what it is in English, the apartment place, they won't tell you what your rights are. They'll get you all mixed up. And if you go to the duty place, they won't tell you what your rights are. The only people here who know anything is AACI. Really, I don't know what we do without them. They know everything. They have it straight. They've worked with Noalim all the time. They know. So your advice is a very good one, and we've already taken it. And we went to AACI first thing, and it goes like this. You just said your rights are divided into two parts. Now I'll talk about the apartment rights. When both members of the couple have rights, then you get a certain amount of loan. If one would only have rights, then you would get £30,000 or something like that, or £25,000. But when both couples have rights, then together you get £60,000. Now, what they do is also at the same time, they build apartments and they give you an apartment from the Jewish agency. They'll find an apartment for you. Usually they find you an apartment. If you take an apartment which they find for you, then you have to pay $50,000. Then they give you $50,000 towards the cost of the apartment. The apartments are usually sort of cheaper. They're usually like about £80,000 or something, which is a very, very cheap apartment. The only problem with that is, if you're a young couple, then they'll give you an apartment with one room in it, because they say all you need is one room. You're a young couple. If you're New Orleans and you have 5 kids in the family, then they'll give you a bigger apartment, but they do it according to what your needs are now. The apartment that the Horvitzes have is a Jewish agency apartment. It has 4 bedrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, and that's because they're a family of 5 children. So, that's how they do it, but Ellie and I couldn't go to them and say, well, we want to plan someday, God willing, to have a big family, so we need a big apartment. No, they'll give us what we have then. And then they'll only give us £50,000 to a loan also. But if we found ourselves an apartment on the private market, by ourselves without their help, then we get £60,000. So there's advantages and disadvantages. Because the apartments they do give are pretty nice, and they're new, and they're in a nice neighborhood. So we decided that we're going to try and find for ourselves. First of all, So shoot, we need every little bit of money that we can get. So if they can give us £60,000, we'll take 60,000. And because we didn't, also mainly, the main reason is because we plan to have a family, and it isn't too smart to just get an apartment, a small apartment. And then there was we thought at first, maybe we'll take the small apartment, and then when we're ready to, we'll move, and we can probably get a lot of money for it, because the prices here are going up every single day. But we don't want to, it's silly, we want to buy an apartment. We want an apartment, one that's ours, one that's bought, not rented, one that we can, it's our house, and we'll stay there for a long time, for a very, very long time. When we have a family, we have to stay and not have to worry about this stuff again, because it's very aggravating and frustrating, and it's crazy. It's crazy here in this country. So the buy and the sell and all this stuff, no, we'd rather not. So what we did now, to find an apartment is very, very hard. Apartments in Israel are very, very, very expensive, especially in good neighborhoods. And to buy an apartment in a not good neighborhood is there's no point to it, because you want your kids to grow up in a good neighborhood, and the not good neighborhoods, some of them are just really not good. Not that they're dangerous neighborhoods, not like in America, but you want good influences. And when you have people that are just New Orleans, mostly from eastern countries, so it's very, very different. It's very hard, and it is to some extent dangerous in certain places. And I wouldn't want my children growing up there. I wanted a nice, quiet, religious neighborhood with good schools in the area and good facilities. And also, there's a problem. I went kosher butchers and all that kind of stuff. So looking at a religious neighborhood, and there's quite a few in Jerusalem, obviously. So Ellie went for 2 weeks straight. And if you go looking at the newspaper like normal people do, so you can find, it's true. So people put it in the newspaper. They know that they have a big audience. I don't know what the word is. People looking in the newspaper. It's not as free when you find it out in the newspaper. So he's not so willing to bargain and everything, because he has a lot of people answering his ads to the paper. Also, we have these friends, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Friends of mine, I've mentioned her a number of times. Her name is Esther. She learns in יכולה. She is my friend. I met her in יכולה, and we became very, very good friends. And I knew she was engaged. It turns out that the boy that she's engaged to, and this is completely separate, happens to be Ellie's best friend. But neither of us knew it at the time. Her husband is Ellie's roommate at Merkaz. And they're a young Israeli couple. They don't have any of the rights that Ellie and I have, nowhere near the benefits that we're getting. And they also are getting married this summer. Because of them, we're a little bit limited also to when we can get married, because we don't want to get married at the same time. And the summer is limited, because in the middle is, remember when Stanley got married, during 3 weeks he couldn't get married. And then school ends for me late. So together we sort of planned it. But anyway, they're a young couple, and they had to find an apartment, and they don't have anywhere near the money to pay for an apartment, near the money. What did they do? They went looking privately. They went from door to door, knocking on doors, asking people if they know of an apartment in the area for sale, or if they themselves are interested, or do they have a cousin, relative, anywhere, an apartment we need. And that way they managed to find a very, very nice apartment, very, very cheap. You could never get it there. Such a Nasi'a they got, such a bargain. So using their experience, Ellie went. I had tests at the time, so I didn't go. I only helped him one day. He went straight for 2 weeks, knocking on doors. Such an exhausting thing, knocking on doors and finding out possibilities. And he had a little notebook with all the different possibilities. And so we really got a very good picture of what. And besides all this, we also called up ads in papers and stuff. But we got a good picture of what the situation is, in general, with apartments and prices. And in Jerusalem, we couldn't find a single apartment less than £90,000, 85 to £90,000, that was half decent. And the ones we found for that price were 2 rooms. When I say 2 rooms, I don't mean 2 bedrooms. When you say number of rooms in Israel, it means the bedrooms plus the living room. In other words, 1 bedroom in the living room. 2 rooms, at most 3 rooms for that price. Anything more than that was way above what we could ever afford. Hani, the girl in my apartment last year that got married, lives in Bahekatan, which I think is the most expensive neighborhood in Jerusalem, because it's brand new, it's beautiful, it's religious, and it's mostly Americans and people in New Orleans that can afford to buy things there. Her apartment is, I think, 4 rooms. Yes, 4 rooms. It's very big and nice, and it cost her almost £200,000. So that's just to give you an idea of the matzav here. So what happened was, now, Friday, Ellie came to me with his notebook. He said he has a few things that are possibilities. a lot of illuminated because they're teeny, and they're horrible and ichian. His possibilities, there were 3 or 4 that seemed possible, so we went to them. And, Rabbi Hurwitz and Eli, and his friend Eliakim, the one who's engaged to my friend Esther, Eli's good friend. Why do we bring Eliakim along? Because he's like Daddy. He's one of these type of people. He's fantastic to have as a friend. Anything he can fix, he can do anything. He could look at a room and tell whether it's wired up right, whether the walls are good, whether they're damp, whether they leak, whether the paint is letting the walls breathe, whether the floor is even, whether it's sinking or hollow or this and that. He could tell whether it's easy to put in heat here or put a light in here and all this. You just need someone like that. He figures out how big things are, how little things are, furniture. He just has a mind like that, which I don't, and Eli doesn't, and Rabbi Hurwitz doesn't. So the 4 of us went on Friday, a week ago, and we looked at the possibilities. And there was one that Eli was saving for last, and he told me that he fell in love with an apartment, but he wouldn't tell me anything more about it. And we went to the others, and I was getting very depressed. They're very small and very dark and in bad neighborhoods and completely surrounded by buildings and no trees, no grass. But it looked like I was beginning to think, well, that's just the way I'm just going to have to live in one of these things because that's all we can afford. I mean, I just have to get used to that thing. Actually, we can't afford 90. We can only afford 80. So wait, I'll get to the financial thing in a minute. Then we went to this place where Eli found his apartment, where the one that Eli liked was. And as you can tell, consequently, it's the one we bought. We bought it very, very quickly, and I'll tell you why. The people, first of all, I'll describe the apartment to you. It's in a neighborhood called Pagi. It's right 5 seconds, in fact, about 20 feet away from 20 yards or something away from the way you get into our apartment. You go down these steps, and you're in a brand new neighborhood, Ramat Eshkol, which is where the Lewises live, where a lot of Americans live, where it's brand new building up, which is way beyond our price range, but it's very, very brand new neighborhood and nice. And 2 seconds from there is Sanhedria Mochevet, which is where all the young couples are moving now. So it's 5 minutes away from all these places, and it's right near Har Tzofim, near where Yassel works. And it seems far out, but it's not really, especially where Pagi, where we'll live. And now, the apartment is like this. First of all, it's a very, very old apartment. Very old. It's about, 20 or 30 years old. Not like the new apartments that all the other ones that we saw. And to go in, I can just think now, it's just so charming. That's the word I can think of, quaint and charming. To go into what it is, it's like a chatzer, a courtyard. You have to go through you go through this gate-like, and then you're into this courtyard. And on the side of the courtyard, on 2 sides really, are buildings. And on one of them is our apartment. Our apartment is on the ground floor. Oh wait, I'll tell you about the courtyard. The courtyard is full of trees and grass and stone, and it's beautiful, and it's quiet and full of birds, and so much not like anything else. Like the minute I walked in, I was in love with the courtyard, and I thought the apartment was going to be worse than the others that we saw because it was old, and yet it's just so much Moshe Chen Beinai. That's the Hebrew expression. I just fell in love with it. To go into the courtyard, the little gate that you go through, it's so charming. It's like these arches, these stone arches. It's really cool. It's really nice. It's real old and I don't know, and cool and stone. And you go into the courtyard, and then to the right is our apartment. Now, the apartment is on the ground floor, and you go in, and it's mamash. It feels just like a house. You go in, and it's so much bigger than any of the other apartments we saw. It has the kitchen has a table in it, which is more than other things. It has a table, be able to eat in the kitchen. It's not the hugest thing in the world, but she just put in all new cupboards. It's just like our cupboards at Michlala. The cupboards that I have now at Michlala are, they're brand new, because my apartment in Michlala is brand new. And in this kitchen also she just redid it all with new cupboards. It has plenty of storage space and room for a stove and a refrigerator, and a little teeny table, and 2 sinks, which is very good, and a lot of storage space. Off the kitchen is a mirpeta, a porch. So, like, the kids can be playing out in the courtyard. Notice how I'm thinking already. And I can be watching them from it's like a balcony from the porch off the kitchen. The apartment is not on the ground itself. You go up 3 or 4 steps, which is good, because it's not on the ground, so none of the dampness or anything from the ground will get in. And yet, it's a ground floor apartment, which is the most ratzui. It's preferred. It's the highest class. When it's on the ground floor, it's nicest. because you really feel like it's a house. And so off the kitchen is this big, bright, sunny mirpesset which opens up to the courtyard. Now that's the kitchen. Now there's also you walk in and it's like this room. It's sort of a hallway, because from that you go into all the other rooms. But it's big, it's huge, and the people in there now have a big dining room table. So it's big enough for a table. And we went on Friday. It was Erev Shabbos, and it was so cute. The kids were all sitting around picking out. Here, when you buy rice, you have to pick out the good from the bad. Sifting through the rice, and another kids were mending things, and the mother was ironing, and it was so homey and so warm. It was not an apartment. It was a home. It was so nice. Now, wait, I'll finish telling you. So there's that thing we can put a dining room table in, like a table. Then there's another little room off that room. There's another little room. They added it on sort of, so it's teeny. And she has in it a couch and a sewing machine. It's like a sewing room. It's a little room, a couch and a sewing machine, and it's real cute. That can be one bedroom, definitely one bedroom. She has in that 4 people sleeping. You have to understand, in Israel, it's not like America, where you can have like a huge room and in the middle a little bed and a dresser and all this. You have to conserve space in this country because you have to just think practical. The couch opens up to a bed, and she can stick 3 people in that bed. I don't know how she said 4, but I mean we could definitely have 3 people sleeping there. I'm just saying, no, it's a bedroom, and it also big windows and bright and sunny. I have to make really cute curtains for it. And then that's one room. Now another room, our bedroom that will be for me and Ellie, it's a very big room. Because it's an old house, the rooms are much bigger than a new apartment. It's plenty big. In it, she had 2 twin beds and a table and a big wall closet. In Israel also, the closets aren't built in the walls. It's not like in America where they have built-in closets. Here they don't. You buy a room and then you have to hire a carpenter to build you a closet, which can run thousands of pounds because it costs a lot of money. This is a big wall closet, plenty big, and we'd have to paint it. It wasn't the most gorgeous thing, but they're leaving it for us. That's the thing. So it had a big wall closet and 2 beds and a table, and she also had a crib in there. And there's plenty of room. The room was huge. It's really nice, and has a big window on the side. That's our room. That's another room. And then this is the killer. The other room, that you walk in this other room, and it is. I almost fell flat on my face. It is a gigantic room. It's the hugest room. I had never seen a room so big in Israel. It's this big room that in it she had a big bookcase and a table, with a dining room table, another big fancy table, and a couch, and one whole wall of this room, and the ceilings are enormous because it's an old thing. They're really high ceilings. And one whole wall, up to the ceiling, and the cover of the wall was a closet that she had made. It cost 5,000 pounds to make. I can believe it. I would think it cost more, but she told me 5,000, so I don't think she's lying. And this huge wall closet, very beautiful. This one is a beautiful closet. And the room is enormous. When I saw it, the first thing I thought of was the piano, because I was getting very, very depressed. Where will we put a piano? My piano, it wouldn't fit in any other room that we saw anywhere, ever, in any apartment in Israel. In the Horvitz's house, did you see a piano? I want you to... The Horvitz's house, to you, might seem small, but it happens to be pretty big by Israeli standards. It just is laid out very poorly. Our apartment, this apartment that we're buying, is meter-wise, metrage, when you do the metrage. The Horvitz's apartment is a 5-room apartment. Ours, I told you, it has 3 bedrooms. This big room would be it would be a living room. I mean, for a while at least. Like, it depends on how many kids we have. But if we need it, we could turn it into a bedroom at night. But this big room is really big. It's a beautiful room, and it opens up to another mirpesset which goes out to the chatzer, to the trees and everything. And it's the Horvitz's apartment, which I said was a 5-room apartment, is 75 square meters. Our apartment is 72 square meters. Can you believe how big it is? And it's laid out so well. It's just beautiful. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Like, when I saw it, I just fell in love, and I was so scared that we wouldn't be able to buy it because it would be expensive. And I was so sorry. I was so mad at Ellie for bringing me there because I just fell so much in love with the house and with the neighborhood and with the whole thing, and the whole setting just seemed so charming, like in a dream. But I'm probably a little bit exaggerating because I'm so mitlahev, I'm so excited about it, but it's very important, I think, to like your apartment, and I liked this apartment. And I think I told you everything about it. We could definitely fit the piano in. And the bathrooms are, it's like a lot of places in Israel, and like in יכולה, my apartment, and in Horvitz's apartment, there are two rooms. One is a toilet room, and the other has a sink in the bathtub. And they're not so nice. I have to admit that. I mean, we'd have to fix them up a little bit. The bathtub, I think we'd have to put in a new bathtub, because this one is cracked or something, I don't know. And there's a few other things that the apartment needs a lot of work. A lot of little things. Actually, painting, it doesn't have to be painted maybe, but some rooms have to. There's one room which is purple, which I can't stand, so we paint that. Now, the thing is that Ellie found this apartment by knocking and asking them. It's not in the paper, and it wouldn't be for a while because these people aren't planning to move. They're moving to a new apartment, and they're not planning to move until about 10 months from now. They're not moving out for another 10 months, and we want to get married in 3 months. So that would mean that we'd have to rent for a few months, which is bad, and which isn't so no bad because with my rights, even though Ellie won't be getting these, I don't think, but with my rights, we also get £150 a month towards rent. In other words, that's part of my rights. I'll get £150 towards rent. So rent costs more than £150, but we'll see. Wait. I'll go into the financial thing in just a minute. I want to finish the apartment. The people that live in the apartment now, they have 10 children, and they've been living there for 17 years. And they managed with 10 children, and you didn't even feel that there were 10 children. I've been there already twice. At night, on Erev Shabbos, when Dafka, everyone's there running around, and one night, and it's right before Pesach, when everyone's cleaning for Pesach, and I didn't feel that it was crowded or anything. You could sleep 10 people there, it's not so hard to. In other words, it's 5 or 6 in a room, and the parents' room, only the parents, but in between the rest. Anyway, just to tell you that it's a big apartment, and we bought it, we'll never have to move. We won't have to move for a long, long time, if ever. Not like anything else. It's just such a good thing. It's such a Nisi'a. It's such a bargain. Now, because they're not ready to sell. I mean, they're not in any rush to sell. We're the ones that want to buy now. We want to buy before they put it in the paper, before they realize what a bargain they have. She calls it, the lady, she calls it a 2-room apartment. She's crazy. It's a 4-room apartment. She doesn't realize it. So as long as I didn't realize it, we didn't want to seem over-anxious. Ellie kept telling me to stop smiling. I couldn't stop beaming and smiling. But so we wanted to buy it very quickly before she put it in the paper, before people come. She could ask so much more than what she was asking. How much was she asking? She asked for $90,000. $90,000 is more than we could afford. We figured $80,000 is what we could afford. $90,000 we can't afford. I'm sorry, I was funny. Anyway, $90,000 is more than what was I saying? Than we planned to spend, and we were going to be very, no, our limit is $80,000. But we saw that you can't find anything for less than $90,000, and even the ones that we saw for that price were horrible. So we didn't know what to do. That's why it took a week to buy. We were debating one. The other, what would it be? Of course, right now I can't stand it because I see the tape is running out, and I can't talk. That feeling. Anyway. So we didn't know what to do. We said we'll let them know, but we wanted to hurry and buy it before anybody else found out about it, because really it's one of these once in a lifetime mitzvahs that you find. So we talked about it and we just discussed it for a long time. We got them down to $88,000. I'll tell you, which and they wouldn't go down. They're very, very stubborn. They wouldn't go down for less. And it wasn't me or Ellie that got them down. It was Eliakim. He's really amazing. That boy. He's really. Ran out and I didn't even realize it, but it's better now, so now I can talk. Excuse me. Now I'll talk about financial. I told you about the apartment, and now I can get to the financing. The way Ellie and I figured $80,000. Oh, excuse me. There you go. The way Ellie and I figured $80,000 was this way. We get $60,000 from the self-help because we found the apartment on our own. So we get £60,000 from them. It's not that we're just guessing. We've gone down there many, many times. We even have the Ishur, the permission, I mean, it's very clear we're getting the $60,000. The thing is, when we buy the apartment, the $60,000 is only a last payment. In other words, we have to pay the other difference in the apartment then, and then only then will they pay the $60,000, the last payment. You see? So we would have to scrape up. We'd have to, get £20,000 or 30 now. It seems like £28,000 on our own before we'll even get to $60,000. It's not such a big problem because all you have to do is you make a deal with the guy that you're buying from that to give them the office, the apartment office, whatever it's called. To them, they'll give us. To them, we say we already paid the other. They should give us the $60,000. But we make a little deal with the guy itself that he gives us back the money. It's very. It's not confusing. It's how everyone does it. It's so everyone knows that everyone does it this way. Anyway, so that now we have. So financially, I have to talk to you about. We took the £60,000. Now we need the other money. Ellie's grandfather is giving us $2,000, which is £8,000, £9,000 about. And but in the meantime, by the apartment, we needed to pay right away. He needs the money right away. The guy that we bought it from, and I mean that's the acceptable way of doing it here. That you pay the first amount, you pay a third of the price right away. So Ellie has some very distant relative who owns a factory. He gave us £30,000. Not that, and he didn't give it to us. He gave us a check for £30,000 so we can give the guy, and we have to pay him back. We have to pay him back within 3 months. Now, Rabbi Horowiz. Now Ellie has the money from his grandfather, and I think he himself has $1,000. And I'd very, very much appreciate it if you would tell me everything I have. I know I don't have very much. Maybe it's only that. Maybe the only thing I have is the bond my grandpa has left to me. But if you could tell me what I have, how I stand financially, then that would help. But now the other thing is, Rabbi Horowiz managed to do something with his insurance or something. He took a loan from his insurance. I don't so much understand. But he's able now to lend us $5,000. If we would have $10,000, if we could have now $10,000, that would cover everything. That would cover the apartment. That would cover all the things that we have to fix up in the apartment. We have to put in heat, which is not a big expense. It's about £1,000. Anyway, but because it's not. Wait, I'll tell you that in a minute. Let me finish with this. It would cover furniture and all this. It would cover everything that we would possibly need. $10,000. I know. I mean, if we had $1 million too, that would cover everything. I know. That's what I sound like. But Rabbi Horowiz has managed to. Is probably going to be able to lend us to borrow from his insurance and give us $5,000. And we have a few more, like 2,000 or 3,000 more. So, and I understand that. I really understand. Everyone understands that. You're coming here for the wedding and everything is itself a very big expense. Of course, you can't. I understand that really that you won't have the money to give us. The money that you're spending on coming here is an awful lot, and you weren't expecting it, especially after last summer. I really understand. Please believe me that when it comes to money now, I really do understand. Even though it might sound like I'm just talking off the top of my head, it's things that we've sat down and worked out and thought about for a long time. But if you have any suggestions, like I hope you're listening to this privately, but if you know of any way that I could ask Uncle Sidney for some money, even a loan. The reason why we want to borrow from relatives and not from the bank, and we could get from the bank, is because interest. I don't think relatives would take as much interest as the bank would. But if you have any ideas of Uncle Sidney or anything that you could think of, right now I'm at a loss. It would be greatly appreciated because with the $10,000, we'll be able to finish up here. Get everything a bit straight. And you have to believe us that we couldn't find anything for less, anything half decent. And this apartment that we found is really the best thing in the whole world. Really, it's big. We'll be able to live in it for a long time. I forgot to tell you that the neighborhood is just beautiful. Besides the nearness of everything, it's a religious neighborhood. It's quiet. There are millions of kids and playing in that courtyard. It's a very quiet religion. It's very, very nice. And it's right around the corner from the Makolet, from the grocery, from the butcher, from all that. It's right there. Bus transportation is no problem. I have to take 2 buses to Nicola, which is a little bit of a pain. But, I mean, I'm only going to be in Nicola 1 more year, so it's the big thing. And I have one more thing which I'm saving for last, which is the funniest thing of all. But wait a minute. It's about a 20-minute walk from the yeshiva, or Ellie can take the bus. And it's real close to a real nice shul that Ellie would want to go to, Reb Tzvi Yehuda's house. it's just a really perfect neighborhood, so it's very, very nice. The funniest thing of all, now get this, I told you Esther's my real good friend, and now Yakin is Ellie's real good friend, and that they bought an apartment recently. We had no idea where they bought their apartment. And when we took Yakin with us last week to check out the apartment, and to help us, and when we took him with us, so the whole time he was smiling, and we couldn't understand why. After we were all done and we were on the way home, we got in the car. We didn't even pull away. Yakin says, "Hey Ellie, you see that house over there? That building over there?" We said, "Yeah." He said, "That's where I live. That's where he bought his apartment." It's pure coincidence. They live 30 seconds away from where we're going to live. Do you know, that is such a pure coincidence. It was the funniest thing. It was so funny. And it happened to be very, 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 very fortunate. Because that way, Ellie has someone else in yeshiva there. Yakin. And now Yakin might be buying a car or a tus-tus, like a little motorcycle. So they don't have a ride to and from. I'm not so excited about the motorcycle idea. But anyway, it's just good to have another couple from the yeshiva there, a young couple that you know. And Esther's also Esther also has a year of יכולה to go, so we can go together, and we have the same schedule, same classes, a lot of the same things. So it's just very, very, very nice, and we're good friends, and we're getting married around the same time. So it just worked out. It's so coincidence, so we're very happy about that. Anyway, so what I was saying though is, if somehow you know from there where we can get some money, that would be very, very good. It would be very, very helpful because we need the money now. Now, to buy the apartment this year now. But paying back will in other words, we can't save the money. We need the money now, and then we'll have to pay back now. That's the thing, paying back. I'll tell you how we plan to do it. By buying an apartment, as every Israeli couple, when they buy an apartment, they get themselves into very big debt. It's the only way. Because, like I said, when you buy an apartment, you have to pay at least a third of it at one time. No one has that much cash around. And apartments are ridiculously high in this country. And they're going up every single day. So you get yourself into debt. The loan, Ellie explained to you, the loan from the Sochnut, from the government, they have it's very, very reasonable rates. Their interest is very low. It's like half as much as if you would borrow anywhere else. And they have a set period that you pay back. You pay back, you start out paying like about £350 a month. It's a 17-year plan. That's £350 a month. That's towards the $60,000. $30,000 which we got now from that guy, we'll have to pay back. That we have to pay back with the thousands of dollars that we get. I think when you wrote me that it's a wise idea to open it in a dollar account, I guess that's why you said I would know why. The only reason I figured why is because probably for our wedding and stuff we'll get a lot of money and we'll get it in dollars, which is fine because dollars are 4 times as far. Dollars, if anyone asks you what they can get us for our wedding, tell them dollars. I mean that's the most practical right now. So with the $5,000 that the Hurwitz will be able to give us for right now, and these other things we don't have to pay back like in 3 months' time. So that also we'll have to work it out, a little bit each month, and it'll take a long time. But we figure that we can do it. It'll be very hard, and I think it's like living. It's cutting it pretty short. But there's really nothing else you can do actually. But it's cutting it really short. But it works out. It works out. It's what I'll be able to make teaching, and what Ellie makes from Kola, and it's going up. He makes gifts from yeshiva, and gifts and things, and also from the Sochnut. Then I think it works out pretty much financially. The more important thing right now is that we need right now $10,000, of which we already have some. So if you could send me back sort of an appraisal from that end, or where you think we'll be able to, if we can. If you have any suggestions, I'd be really appreciated. Just a minute, let me look at my list. Okay, I better make it quick now because I spent a long time in the apartment, which is very good, but I have a lot of other things to tell you. So I'm going to start talking really fast. I have a list here of things. First of all, I meant to tell you, Ellie also will be able to give classes in Shirin, so we'll be getting money from that to, be able to teach. That's what, let me see. As far as sending things, just a minute. First of all, I don't need a letter from Mother anymore. so got it all worked out. I won't go into the details now. I felt like telling you. It would take me at least 2 weeks to tell you all the different offices that I've had to run around to, how many times I've had to go back, all this stuff, because just to give you a feeling of what it's like here. but yeah, I'm laughing still. I'm still alive. It wasn't so bad, actually. But I don't have time. You should know, though, that I got thing saying that I am single. I got that. And yesterday, Ellen and I went to the rabbinate to the Hashem to sign up. So we signed up. Now, when you sign up, all weddings in Israel are done with Jewish law. Weddings and divorces are not civil. They're connected with the Jewish law. And in order to get married, you could only get married within a certain times a month. I think I explained to you once. It's connected, when the bride has her period and all things like that. So there's only a certain time of month that you can get married. I mean, you can get married any time of the month, but there's only a certain time of month where you just want to get married. And they work it out with you there at the Rabbanut. They help you work it out according to all the details of the halakha when a good time to get married is. And the way it worked out for me, that it seems that in July, which is when we have to get married, when we want to get married, it would work out that I could get married between about the 8th of July to the 15th, that week. The reason why I can't get married later than that, remember, is because after the 17th of July, 17th of Tammuz really, but it happens to be the same in English, 17th of July, you can't have weddings then. And before that I can't either because of my period, and then before that I'll still be in school, and so I don't want that. So that's the erech around approximately when the wedding will be. Now as far as and I want to be in the army. I'm looking at my list. I want to be in the army at all because I'm married, and because I'm religious and I'm married, but there's no problem with the army, so that's okay. And I told you that we already belong to AACI. And Ellie's name is Ellie with an I at the end, E-L-L-I. And I'll send you a picture. I don't know if I'll send you a picture of the tape, because I want to send a tape today, and I don't think I have a picture of him. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you never saw a picture of him. But okay, I'll see if I can find the picture. Just a minute. Okay. As far as my coming home this summer, before we get married, I don't think that it's in the realm of possibility. There's a lot of reasons why. But besides all the details and everything that has to be taken care of, really, really a lot of things, and the continuation of the tape to go into more wedding things, all these questions that you asked me. But there's even a more important reason. I could tell you that I can't come home in the summer because there's just too many things to be taken care of, which is true. I don't see at all how I could possibly leave between now and get married. It's true, but I want you to understand even more. The real reason is like telling you this now. It's hurting you, or it's hard for you to understand. But it's better that you understand that I'm straight with you, right? I'm straight, and I'm honest, and I'm not, and I don't beat around the bush. I told you many times it's sort of the same thing, but you can't understand how much it means to me, or just how important it is that I stay in Israel, and that I be in Israel, and that I don't even go to America. And it doesn't matter if I'm in America even for one day. It has nothing to do with you, that I'm hurting you, or that I mean to knock you, or it's not that at all. It's just that everything that I say and do, I'm not just saying big things and saying big ideas. You yell about my idealism and everything, but the thing about my idealism is that it's true, it's idealism. It happens to be also my life. It is me. That is me. It's not like I have an idea that I strive towards, and I try to live up to the idea. And while I'm doing my everyday practical details, that has nothing to do with my idea. But when I have time to think, and it's a nice day, or when I'm in a real, exhilarated mood or something, that I just think is my idea, or that's what I want in general. No, I want my ideal in general and in detail, in every detail. And in every detail I do, I try to do it. I mean, I don't try. My life is my ideal. It's very hard for me to explain in words, of course, and it's even hard to show you. I can't tell you. It's something which is inside better that you come to Israel and see. It's something which I can't describe. I've tried many, many times. But I can't even go to America to visit. I can't leave this country. I can't go to that country. Even for a week. I just couldn't. I just can't. I can't leave this country. It's very hard for me to explain. I just know I'm just asking you please to try and be understanding. I realize more than anyone probably, how good it would be if I could go to America, how profitable, and I'm thinking in terms of profit and many other things too, just how nice it would be if I could go and have showers and things like that and get all that stuff. You know, I mean, sheets and things are tremendously expensive here. I'll have to ask you to send them to me because they're tremendously expensive here. I couldn't manage that here. And to have a shower and all that stuff would be very nice, and to see everyone would be very nice. I know exactly what I'm causing myself by not coming. And even more than that, I know I'm causing you I'm taking away from you the ta'anug, I can't think of the word name, of making me shower and preparing and all that stuff. That's why I know that, Mama, and I know, and it hurts me very much too. That's why I really wish, if at all possible, I'm reading your letters and you say that you can't come until July. But if at all possible, I'd love for you to come here. I want you here helping me plan all these things. There's so many things to be done. As far as finding a hall for an apartment and all that, we haven't really started looking into it. Right now it's Pesach, nothing's open, everything's really haywire. And for the past we've been with the apartment. It was more important that we find an apartment. And there's so many things to take care of. Find a hall and waive our wedding and invitations and even food and an orchestra or whatever. All these little details that we have to look into. We haven't really started. As soon as Pesach, right up to Pesach, we will. I'm a little bit afraid. I have a feeling that we won't be able to find a hall because so many people are getting married in the summer. And like I said, the days are limited, and there are only a limited number of halls here. And I personally would prefer an outdoor wedding. Like Stanley Jeans was a beautiful wedding. I wouldn't want anything much more than that. But we'll see. There's also not like backyards here. I don't really know. We'll have to look into it. Also, you asked about your cameras and stuff. It would be better if it was outdoors, huh? So, all these little things we're going to be looking into, I guess, right after Pesach. I'm sorry that I can't tell you now. Also, it would be less expensive than to rent a hall. But all these nice things that I have to look into, I know people who are just on their wedding itself have been working on for weeks and months. I don't know. And now you asked about the piano, about sending it later. I have to explain one thing to you. Ellie and I, the advantage that Ellie is right only goes to the apartment. As far as sending it, we both have rights for duty also. In other words, I have the right to buy a refrigerator tax-free. One refrigerator. I can't buy 5 refrigerators, only one. And Ellie has the right to buy a refrigerator tax-free. But together we don't have the right to buy 2. As a couple, we only have the right to buy 1. You see? The only way it works well together is for an apartment. You get twice as much loan for an apartment. So the piano, I'll be having rights for 3 more years. So the piano you could send in fact, we prefer that you don't send it right away because we're not going to be in our apartment for another 10 months. So your question with the piano and money and trouble, it happens to work out very well. That it's possible to put off sending the piano for a few months. So that's no problem. The way, and now, your advice about asking people about the list, about, how they shipped is a very good one. That I will. I'll look into it right away as soon as I can because it's very important. I hear that they are changing the laws soon. I don't know if that affects me so much because I think it would affect me if I was still being a tourist or a student and I would have more limitations. But since I'm already a temporary resident, which I am, I'm a temporary resident, by the way, that's another such stuff that I went. It took me months to get that all straightened out. So I have been a temporary resident. I don't know if it affects me. But one thing I do know is what most people do is they send a list, which is big box. It goes by space and not by weight. They send a list and it's very, very cheap. And it comes in duty free, and you can send anything in the list. And it goes, duty free. So that's how I think most people do it. I will find out, and I'll find out shipping and all that stuff. I'll ask Connie maybe, so she just did this past year. Or else, yeah, you're right, I'll find out about shipping. I think the main problem would be getting it from Washington, New York, not from New York, on the boat. But we'll see, maybe from Baltimore you can send. I don't really know. Anyway, so even the piano could probably be sent in that way. But that's how I think it's done with the list. So all kinds of sheets and blankets and underwear and just all these little things that we need and they're expensive. They could be sent in a list. That's how I think it goes by shipping. Just a second, let me see. Also, I have the right to bring in 2 sets of dishes and 2 sets of silverware and all these things. These things, I guess they are more to buy in America than in Israel because they're very expensive here. I really don't know how to do though. I really don't know. I don't know. I wish I could send a dummy of myself and then you can give me a shower with my picture or something. I don't know. But it's really impossible for me to leave. I just can't. I wish I just feel American now to trust me and just know that I understand how nice it would be if I came, but just know that I can. And trust me. I don't really know what else to say. Okay, now I'm reading over your letter to see if I forgot anything. Your idea about giving piano lessons, that's a very, very good one. I had thought of it, but you really don't understand that here, that's a very, very good idea. Very, very good. I could probably think it's very good. It's very good that I had a piano. It's very good that we found an apartment that we can put the piano in. Also, please tell Rhoda, I'm sure my friends are going to be starting to call you now. I haven't written anyone. I don't have a second fee to write anyone. After Pesach I will, but, Rhoda I want to write off. Maybe I should write it today. But please apologize. Make it sound, good and I told you, you're the only ones that we told. And I feel very bad. And Mazel Tov about Judy's Spectre. That's so exciting. I'm really excited about that. It's really fantastic. Let me see. I hope the date works out with Rhoda. I guess she'll tell me. Okay, I'm stopping. Oh, I'm really happy that Brian's coming. Wait just a second. Mommy, do you think that you can come, do you think you can come early? I wish you could come now. I wish you could come right after Pesach. I know I'm just wishing off the top of my head. I'm going to be very pressured towards the end of the year with school. I'm going to have all my final exams and everything, and with this on top of my head. But afterwards, I really do need you to help me set up and help me think of all these things. You asked if Toby would help me with my wedding dress, and I want you to help me. Oh, that's another thing. As far as material goes, if you could start looking for me for patterns, and even material, I greatly appreciate it. In Israel, they don't have patterns, or they have these German patterns, and I don't know how to wear. I can't understand them anyway. And I don't want to buy a wedding dress. It's crazy. It's really expensive. So, I don't know. You know what I like. Something very simple and pretty and nice. Long, not a low-cut dress and not a sleeveless dress. And, longer sleeves and pretty dress. I wish I looked good in white, but what can you do? Just a minute. I'm looking through your letters now, and I'm just so excited. You can't imagine how happy you make me. But I'm so glad that Brian's coming and Stan and Gina sound so great. And please don't worry. And please. Oh, never mind. Let me see. I'll try and find out about a place for you and Daddy to stay. I don't know about Yosef. He has a roommate, but I'll ask him. I'm a little bit embarrassed to ask him because I'm sure he would offer. The thing is, he just thinks his apartment is so horrible that you would never want to stay there. But I'll just ask him point blank if you can, because really, I understand it's a big expense, a hotel. Mom, as far as you, if you come early, I think you could stay here, because Toby has where I always stay when I'm at the Hurwitz, so she has an extra bed in her room. Or if you would stay after the wedding, then you could stay here or there. She already said it would be okay. And I have my apartment in יכולה. But maybe we'll find something. Maybe we could rent her a place for us, and we could stay together. I don't know. These are the things that are just popping into my head right now. The You really think that Bob Gellerstein will give me money? I'll try and do what I can. This is so queer, though. What do I say? What about Uncle Sidney? You think he can? Do you have any other suggestions? This is really queer. Yeah, and you write about pictures. I'll try and get a picture of Ellie. Just a minute. I don't need Rabbi anymore because I already got the thing saying that I was alright. Just a minute. Tell everyone right after Pesach I want to write to Grandma and I want to write to Aunt Betty and Uncle Teddy and Aunt Lil. Really, thanks. I don't know what you mean that I was so convincing. I just talked to her. Well, anyway, if it worked out for the best, I'm very glad. Let me see. Right, you asked about all these plans, and well, hopefully he'll study as long as he can be yeshiva, and at the same time be giving lessons. We'll try and manage that way, and we'll see. But that's our goal from now, is to continue with the yeshiva. Just a minute. As far as beds, yeah, we'll be buying twin beds, but the beds here in Israel are a different size than in America. They're smaller. So, when I'm done with this, I'll go measure a bed here in the Harvard apartment, and I'll send you measurements. I guess the best idea isn't to get fitted sheets, and it'll probably be twin beds, not pushed together like yours. So it'd be, better to get everything separate. That's how I think. But I guess it's not such a good idea to get fitted sheets because I don't know of any fitted sheets that fit the beds here. So regular sheets fit, and I can tuck it in the regular way. Just a minute. Ellie's very embarrassed. He doesn't want all about him in the paper, so he just says to say that his name is Eli, and that it's Rabbi Harvitz, and that he's, he's a yeshiva bacher, and that, he's going to be learning at America. I don't know, I think he's wonderful. You make up something. There's not much to say about his background. Just things fun, Another thing, which I wanted to tell you, is, about Ellie. Yeah, we read your letters together, and he's really happy, and he says he sends his regards and everything. He had to go now back down to the rabbinate to finish up there with him, with his thing in the rabbinate. But he sends his regards, and he wishes you a happy Pesach, and he was very pleased with your letter, and he sort of apologizes if he sounds very abrupt in his letter. He just doesn't write well or something, he says. I don't know. Just a second. Okay, I guess that's about it. It's getting on my nerves that I keep stopping. It's just that I'm just trying to think of other things to say while I can. And the tape is running out, and I'm very, very excited, and it's Friday before Pesach, and I have a lot to do, and help clean up for Pesach. Anyway, so I want to wish you now very, 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 very happy Pesach, and thank you very, very much, and give my regards to everyone, and please write, back as soon as you can. And I know that we'll be crossing for a long time, but I guess that's the way it'll go. It's frustrating, but oh well. So regards to everyone, and this tape is nerve-wracking, and hi to Brian and Stanley and everyone, and I'm going to write as soon as I can. And please be well. That's the important thing. Be well, and keep in touch. And I don't know. Now that I'm done, there's more tape left. Let me see. What else can I say? Hurry to send the regards. The weather here is beautiful. I'm fine. I had a big checkup in order to become a temporary resident. I had a checkup, and I'm fine, and everyone's fine. And okay, so good job.